everybody, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys have been reading and have been enjoying some of the book reviews that I've been doing for you guys. I am very excited about today's episode because I am continuing my book series by Chiamamnda Ngozi Adichie, and today's book is The Thing Around Your Neck. So I will be talking about that in a few. Stick around. There's no better way to explain it even to myself what this book did to me. It felt like a roller coaster that I didn't want to stop. So this is a book that was published in 2009, and it's a collection of short stories which narrate life in America and life in Nigeria. So it's intertwined, or immigrants, like that kind of thing. So each story was so beautifully told and solid and full and just gorgeous. Each and every story in this book was so beautiful and solid that it could actually become its own book. So she could take whichever story she wants from this book and create another book. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I didn't obviously enjoy every single one of them, but I think each story was uniquely beautiful, and I appreciate the fact that they were just full solid stories. It didn't have to be my favorite story for me to recognize that this was great, that well written, well told, articulated, and just all the beautiful things. I have three favorite stories from this book. One of my favorite one is so I'll go in according to least. Okay, number 3, number 2, number 1. So number 3 is Jumping Monkey Hill, and then I think I liked Ghosts. Ghost was a very moving one for me. It was about this old guy that's now in retirement, and he meets his friend that was in the Biafran War, or Biafra War. I actually don't know how to pronounce this. I should, yeah. So and they basically, so he thought he was dead all this time, and they're basically talking about what happened to you, and such an interesting way of looking at things. And obviously my number 1 is The Thing Around Your Neck. I think that one was just like she just put a stamp on it. She was like, yo, I'm writing this. Okay, so throughout the book I was kind of just trying to figure out what it is, because the thing around your neck is not just the thing around your neck. It's a metaphor for, I think, for me, for how we tie ourselves. We literally tie our necks and our bodies and our beliefs and whatever. We just tie ourselves because we're so stuck on stereotypes, and we're just so stuck on our ignorance. So I think she shows us a very complex but yet very beautiful way in which these worlds sort of tie themselves, the thing around your neck. So I think that was one thing. And if you've read this book, maybe you can tell me maybe that you see a different metaphor, but that was the biggest one for me. What I didn't like, and I think this is my struggle in general with short stories, is the fact that I don't like the feeling of oh my gosh, why did it just have to stop now? I want this to carry on because I'm so invested in the characters. I'm so invested in, what happens next kind of thing. And I mean, there's so many gaps that you have to fill in when you're reading a short story. I think the point is the fact that there has to be gaps, beautiful gaps, that is, but I just kind of don't like the beautiful gaps, because it leaves me just thinking, ugh, my I kind of want this thing to continue. So that's generally the only critique, and I guess it's not really a critique because it's really about my view of short stories in general. So I would recommend that you do go out and read this book, and I will give it a solid 5 out of 5. This book was done in 2009, which is 10 years ago, or published in 2009, and which is 10 years ago. I think the kind of stories that are being told here are still so important and relevant, even a decade later. So I think it would be relevant to you just as it was relevant you today, as just as it was relevant 10 years ago, because these stories here are almost um, intergenerational conversations, and they're so colorful because she touches on very, like, she touches on war, she touches on immigration, she touches on um you know one of the stories is about a woman who's in an arranged marriage. So I mean, these are rich stories that continue to impact us on a daily. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my book review, and will go out there and read this book and share with me your thoughts, okay? Thank you so much. Bye.